Now, children, remember, we're all going to write a composition about Christmas for our school party. Do we all understand that?
Miss Taylor, Miss Taylor.
Yes, Virginia?
Miss Taylor, I was going to write about why I believe in Santa Claus.
I don't see what's so funny about that, Billy, and the rest of you. Stop it this instant.
Yes, Miss Taylor.
Virginia, is there a question you wanted to ask?
You said that we should write about something we know about. I don't really know about Santa Claus. I mean, I've never seen him. In person, that is.
I see. Well, Virginia, I believe you know enough about Santa to write a fine composition on why you believe in him. Here's the bell. All right, children, you may go home. See you bright and early tomorrow morning. Good afternoon, class.
It's sinking!
Men are so helpless against the mental powers of the White Queen. Magneto, your deliverance is at hand! Gentlemen, welcome.
Oh, a new hotel to add to my list. I think I'll stay there next. Excuse me, I understand you rent rooms for the night? Well, I'll take one then. Room, that is.
Screaming or non-screaming?
Non-screaming. Mrs. Quaint, pardon me, but before I go, do you have a safe where I could keep my pearls? Wrong! Not even that idle thing could stop me from nabbing all this loot.
You gonna eat that earthworm?
Can't this thing go any faster?
I am Cryo! It will be a hot day in Hector before you destroy me!
Jack Spicer is a gnat. We'll deal with him when the time is right. And that would be right after we conquer the world. I am the absolute ruler of the world. And all before lunch. What do I do with the rest of the day? You thought you were going to get everything you ever wanted. And so you shall. Oh, no, Raimundo. You've got every video game ever made. Enjoy, Raimundo. You've certainly earned it.
Well, I like to say I was born in a trunk. My parents were performers. My father was a comic and a wonderful actor who had a terrific career on Broadway and then moved to L.A. and moved me to L.A. But I started when I was 4 years old with my parents on stage in an act. He comes into the dressing room and said, I'm going to practice now. Would you like to come in and hear me play? And I was like, I can't believe it. Jack Benny. He's asking me to listen to him play the violin. You know, it was like, it was just magic. It was magic. And those were the halcyon days of television.
Good afternoon, YouTubers. This is TLD Flyer Tyler 658 Ultimate here with yet another pop culture review. Okay, in today's episode, I will be reviewing my opinions on the legendary, talented, yet eccentric, but well sensational back in the day, veteran voiceover actress, Miss Susan Silo. Now, Miss Silo was born in New York to John and Ruth Silo. Her father worked in theatre, as stated in various interviews during her career. In her teens during the 1950s, one of her most notable songs, Dear Diary, was a major step towards her career when she was 14. She had then performed another song in the late 1950s, Mr. Wonderful, on The Jerry Lewis Show. Her first major appearance on television was the Jack Benny programme in the early 1960s. Her big break in the 1960s, presumably in the late 1960s, was Mousy on the original Batman series with Adam West, Burt Ward and Frank Gorshin, who played the Riddler, where she was the Riddler's girlfriend / hench lady. Now, for her voiceover work, her first ever role was in the mid-1970s, where she had voiced Talking Cow in the Land O'Lakes margarine commercials. Then her first TV role in an animation special, Yes, Virginia, There Is a Santa Claus, where she voiced the schoolteacher Miss Taylor. Then in the 1970s, around 1977, she got her first official animated series, CB Bears, Hey It's the King segments as Zelda, a cheerleader ostrich, before landing her biggest role for Hanna-Barbera in the early 1980s, Sue, the female ghost in Pac-Man series. Okay, her most well-known voice roles include Wuya in the original Xiaolin Showdown, my favourite role of hers, the human form, Dr. Carbuncle in both series of Biker Mice from Mars, Phoebe Farragut and Miss Fortune in the hit 90s series James Bond Jr., Neptunia in a few episodes of the original Disney series Darkwing Duck, starring the great Jim Cummings, Nettie Piscetti in the long-running series Curious George, Miss Nanny, the goat in the mids 2000 series Jakers, The Adventures of Piggly Winks, Sartana of the Dead from the late 2000 Nickelodeon cult classic El Tigre, Adventures of Manny Rivera, starring Alana Ubach, White Queen Emma Frost in the 1989 X-Men pilot, Mama Mouskowitz in Fievel's American Tales, Flamestrike in Dragons of Autumn Twilight, starring Kiefer Sutherland, Lucy Lawless and the late Michelle Trachtenberg, and her most recent role was Grammy in Blaze and the Monster Machines. Her other voice roles include Smurfs original series as Petaluma, She-Lion on Kid Video, Mrs. Escrow in the underrated Hanna-Barbera show Foo Fur, The Glow Friends, Ring Raiders, Munchkin Mayor in the 90s Wizard of Oz series, Fantastic Max, Don Quixote and Sancho Panda, Captain Planet the Deke series, Tailspin, Robotics, Where's Wally the 90s series, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, Prince Valiant, New Kids on the Block, based on Donnie Wahlberg's band, Zazu, You, M.O.M. in Pro Stars, Space Cats, Tom and Jerry Kids, Mrs. Quaint in an episode of the 90s Addams Family series, Toxic Crusaders as Mrs. Junko, Inhumanoids, Back to the Future Season 2 the animated series, Super Dave Daredevil, Bonkers, Dennis the Menace 1993 animated series, Droopy Master Detective Hound, The Tick 90s series, Daisy Head Maisie, Felix the Cat 90s series, Jumanji animated series, Garfield later seasons as Lorelei the Witch, Pink Panther 90s series, Carmen Sandiego earlier seasons of the particular 90s show, Mrs. Rich in the 90s Richie Rich reboot, The Moss the series, Bruno the Kid, Extreme Ghostbusters, Sinbad the Sailor 90s series, Spy Dogs, Pigs Next Door the Fox Kids series, Lucky Lydia as Lucky Lydia's mother pilots, Attila the Hen in the new Woody Woodpecker Show 2000, Cryo in season 2 of Ozzy and Drix, Stuart Little the series, Chalk Zone, Witch, Avatar and the Legend of Korra, Juniper Lee as Auntie Rune, Robot Chicken as B. Arthur in the Golden Girls pilot sketch, Back at the Barnyard, Nefertiti in Garfield the 2009 series, Gypsy Moth in the DreamWorks Turbo series, Nico and the Sword of Light, Auntie Luella in the Tom and Jerry 2010s reboot, and most recently The Rocketeer. Her voice roles in movies include Star Chaser, Florence in Pound Puppies, Legend of Big Paw, Gertie Furbelow in the Jetsons movie, various characters in BB's Kids, The Three Musketeers 90s video, Evil Queen in Snow White 90s novelty video, Once Upon a Forest as Russell's mother, The High Crusader, Men in White as an alien, Lilo and Stitch original movie as a ship's computer, The Ant Bully with Julia Roberts, Babes in Toyland 90s movie, Dr. Dolittle 3 with Kyla Pratt, The Right with Sir Anthony Hopkins, Dead Silence with Donnie Wahlberg, Fred and Vinny as Vinny's mother, and Food Fight with Chevy Chase, Hilary Duff and Eva Longoria. Various video games include Tiny Toon Adventures, Buster and the Beanstalk, Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Father, Dr. Seuss Kindergarten, Emperor Battle for Dune, Sacrifice, Giants, Citizen Kabuto, RTX, Red Rock, Crash to Insanity, Guild Wars, Crash Tag Team Racing, Dead Rising, God of War 2, Neverwinter Nights 2, Mask of the Betrayed, Jericho, Undead Nights, The Saboteur, Diablo 3, The Last of Us, Tales from the Borderlands, Mad Max, The Artful Escape, and recently additional voices in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Wow, over 7 decades of filmography. As a Gen Z, I am impressed. Okay, moving on to her live acting roles, those of which include The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis, Ripcord, The Ann Southern Show, Sea Hunt Miami, Undercover, Harry's Girls, Have Gun, World Travel, Bonanza, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., My Three Sons with Fred McMurray, Occasional Wife, Marriage Year One, Here Comes the Brides, Once Upon a Brothers Grimm with Dean Jones, The Love Boat, L.A. Law, Nightstand with Dick Dietrich as Elaine's mother, McHale's Navy Joins the Force with Tim Conway, and Kiss Toledo Goodbye, her recent live acting role starring Christopher Walken, and more live acting roles during the 60s, early 80s, to name a few. Amazing voiceover legend hero, Miss Silo, and extraordinarily A+. Wow! She even does a voiceover workshop in her spare time outside of acting. She has attended a few cons, especially to do with Mousy, which is very great news. As of 2025, she's doing rather well. As a fanboy and professionally, I wish I had had the chance to meet her, but at least she will be always a part of my pop culture scrapbook. Research is my reward. Okay, alrighty, that concludes today's reviews on one of Los Angeles' national treasures, next to Michael Bell, B.J. Ward, Peter Cullen, Pat Fraley, the great Frank Welker, the remarkable late Peter Renedy, and the great Alan Oppenheimer. So ends my tale of the legendary Susan Silo, right up there. Stay tuned for my next pop culture review, where I voice my opinion on one of Aardman's talented artists, and Peter Lord and Nick Park's good luck charm, Ben Whitehead. Stay tuned, folks. Bye!